So hello everyone, welcome to Technical Gupta YouTube channel. So this is a part 2 of a polymorphism. So if you haven't watched the previous video, so you can watch it like before starting this video. So guys, let's get started. Okay, so the topic of discussion is runtime polymorphism. So in the previous video I have described the compile time. So today we will discuss the runtime. Okay, so what is a runtime polymorphism? So run, as the name is saying, runtime, so this kind of a polymorphism is identified in the runtime. Like if you are not aware of a runtime, so I will tell you while we we go in a program, so at the time you will understand the runtime concept. So we have a this kind of a polymorphism. Okay, so in the runtime we have a two type of like method override and method hide. Okay, so the concept is that we have a two classes, parent and child class, and in which we have a same method. Okay, so we have two classes. Okay, two classes having a same method. Okay, so they have two method with two classes, but at the runtime, okay, either we have to choose a one method. So how will we choose like a parent class method or child class method? So this is a this kind of a concept, method override. Like method override is something like that child class is has a more priority as a base class, like child class override the base class, and method hide is that base class method has a higher priority than child class. So in method hiding, base class method will be called. In method overriding, the child class method will be called. So if you are not aware of like these terms, so I will give the example in a demo section. Okay, so as I have mentioned, so what we are using, one class, okay, father. So it has a one method run. Okay, so father is running. In the child class we have again a one method. Okay, so as you can see the method names are same. So let's go to the demo section. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are creating a objects. Okay, so what I am doing, I am creating a one father is equal to new father. So we will check like all the cases, like how which method is called. Okay, okay, so I will take a one father, then I will take a child, okay, then okay, then I will tell you another concept, fc equal to new child. Okay, so this is a third concept. The last concept is a child cf equal to new father, cf dot run. Okay, so which case is invalid? So this case is invalid. Okay, because like we can't initialize child class object with the parent class. What I am trying to say is that like the purpose of inheritance to increase the functionality. Okay, so whatever the functionality has has a like father, so it is automatically inherit to the child class. Okay, so this child class is object is outside the scope of a base class, so that's why this case is a invalid case. Okay, so what about this case? So child has all the feature which parent has, along with child has additional feature. Okay, so that's why this father object, okay, it's a subset of a child. So that's why we are able to create a object of a base class with child class initialization. So and apart from that, this is like it's a valid along this is valid. Okay, so normally I will run these two. So guys, like if you are creating a object with the same class, okay, so whether you are using a overloading or virtual or anything keyword, a particular method of that class will be called. Okay, so like if you have a father object and you are initializing with the father instance class, you have a child object and you are initializing with the child class, so it will going to call a particular method of particular class. Okay, so method overriding concept is only comes, okay, when you have this case. Okay, so when you have this case, okay, so like you have a object of a base class, you have initialized with the child class. So at the time, okay, so compiler is not able to identify, okay, like which method should I call, whether it's father or whether it's a child. Okay, so by default, okay, if you choose this case, what will happen, like if we go to this example, see, in a run we are, it's saying child.run hides inherit member father.run, use new keyword if it hiding is intended. Okay, so let's run this. Okay, so let me just, for more clarity, let me hide this. Okay, so above two are useless because there are no role of method overriding in here. The method overriding cases only comes when we have a base class object and we are trying to initialize with the child class. So if I run this, okay, waiting. Okay, so see guys, father is running. So father is running and we have like the code has called the base class method. Okay, so why does it call the base class? So let's dive into that point. So it has a run and same it has a run method in a child class. So the priority in this case, if we don't define any keywords, so the priority of a base class is higher. Okay, so that's why base class method is called instead of a child class. Okay, and if I move the cursor, so there is a yellow, okay, line below this method and it's saying like it's not an error but it's a warning. What it is saying, child.run hide inherit member father.run, use new keyword if hiding was intended. Okay, so why it's why saying like base class method hide the child class. Okay, runtime we can only use this method will be chosen, so this method is hided. So if you are not intending, like it's not a good practice, so in that case you have to mention it with the new keyword. Like if I mention with the new keyword, okay, so I have to mention over here. Okay, so if I'm mentioning with the new keyword, so like it's a good practice. So by seeing this code, like we can easily see, so this method is hided and this method is used. Okay, so this is a case. Okay, so when we want to use method hiding, like method hiding is all about we are to have to use the base class method and we want to hide the child class method. So in that case we will use a new keyword. okay, and I have already shown you the result, like if I am using this, so this father is running method is called. But second case is that if I want to use the child class method, so what should I do? So in this case I have to use the override keyword in child class. In base class I have to use a virtual. So what virtual is doing, so it is saying like this method will be override by the child class. Okay, so let's run this. See guys, this child class is running. Okay, so see the magic, like I have just changed the keywords, okay, like from the new to override. So along with that the method, the calling method is changed from the base class to the child class. So this is a very fantastic magic of a oops, which is a runtime, and you can see like everything is identified at the runtime. Okay, so like before that, in the previous video I have mentioned the compile time. So in the compile time we are getting like method over loading is identified at the compile time, but here we don't able to identify whenever the code runs. So in the runtime it check the keywords. Okay, so if it find the particular keywords, the particular method will be override or hide. So this is a whole concept of a oops. It's a very fantastic concept like polymorphism. Okay, so let's see one more thing, like if I hide the virtual. Okay, so what will happen? Okay, so if I hide the virtual from the base class, so it say like child.run can't override the father.run because it is not marked the virtual abstract or override. Okay, see, like if you want to use the override keyword, like as we came to know that if you want to use a child class method, okay, so you have to use the override keyword, but along with that you have to tell the, okay, in a program that this method has to be marked as a virtual, because as we have shown over here, like base class method should be virtual, abstract, okay, or override. So that we have to use over here. So this is a like a concept we use in a oops. Hope you have understand. So if you have any query, so you can ask me in a comment section. Hope you have understood. So thank you guys, thank you for your time, and if you haven't subscribed me yet, so kindly subscribe me. So thank you guys.